Rev up your engines!
Now here's something that maybe they didn't think about when they made them. Maybe they didn't. It's a conspiracy. I don't know. But it turns out that all these new safety devices in cars are making insurance more expensive. Now you think, my car has all these safety devices. It's safer. Why is my insurance costing more? Well, Scotty's going to tell you right now, and I knew this from the get-go. That's because these devices are very complex. When you get sometimes even in a minor wreck, if it wipes out one of these devices, they're all computer run, they run on computer bus lines, those lines short out, all kinds of damage can happen to the computer systems. It can cost a small fortune to repair them. And by law, the insurance companies have to repair them because that's part of the safety system of the car. Kind of like a catch-22. Think making cars safer would make the insurance go down because of less wrecks, but when they do get in wrecks, and sometimes relatively minor wrecks, the bills are now astronomical. And to add to the mix, a lot of guys just don't know how to fix them. I have equipment that works on these things. Being a famous mechanic, companies are always sending me stuff. I try them out, right? So I don't have to buy all that stuff. Even finding an area to use them, that's an expensive mess too, because as an example, collision avoidance systems with their little sensors measuring all over the place. Once they're whacked out and you replace them, they have to be reset. You need a very large area with nothing inside, not even in a parking garage or something, because the pillars are getting away. It has to be in an open field. You got to set these things up, have certain targets set up, and then the computer system reads it and resets them. Exactly the opposite of what you might thought. These safety devices, hey, they'll make cars safer, insurance will cost less. It's actually making the cost of your insurance go up because those guys have to pay to fix the stupid systems when they get in wrecks. And as I said, since the computer systems all run electronically, when there's electrical shorts, all bets are off. It can cost a fortune to fix that stuff. My whole history of fixing cars, when they started putting a lot of computers in cars, and today some cars might have 37 separate computer modules, fixing them when they get in wrecks, whoo-wee, a lot of times I won't touch them. If car's been wrecked, I'll just say, look, I can't give you a quote on this. Car's been in a wreck. There's so much electrical stuff that's related. You're going to pay $100 an hour. You might spend 10 hours and not even figure it out. There's $1,000 you didn't fix anything. So realize that there's a cost for all this stuff. And guess who pays for it? You, as the consumer, buying insurance that costs more. Pete B says, Scotty, I was told several years ago, if you give someone a jump, you should leave your headlights on. Is that true? No, that's an old wives' tale. If you put your headlights on when you're jumping somebody else, the headlights use more power. It's just going to be harder to jump the other car. There's no reason to do that. You're putting a bigger load. What you really want to do is turn everything off. If you have the air conditioning on, turn the fan off, turn the air conditioning off, turn the headlights off, turn everything off. You want to use the car with the most power that it possibly has. And somebody might never tell you the actual truth is, here's how you would jump start a car today. You never want to have two cars running against each other. If you are jump starting your friend's car, what you do is, with your car running, you have the jumper cables connected to his car that isn't running. Let it sit there and run for 5 minutes. That will help charge up his battery. Then you shut your car off entirely. Then try to start the other car. Because if you have the alternator of your car running, you jump start in another car and that car starts running. When it starts running, its alternator starts working. You got two alternators working on the same circuit and they can screw up all kinds of computer stuff on modern cars. So never jump start another car and have them both running. You can start yours, charge his up, then before you try to start his, turn your car off, because you do not want them running. And you don't turn headlights, you turn everything off. You don't turn anything on. And don't leave your car running when you jump start another car, or you may be sorry, unless you're driving like a 65 Mustang or something where it isn't really going to bother it that much. But all the new cars are full of computers. They can be ruined by two alternators running in the same circuit. Mr. Hawkett says, Scotty, is an '07 GMC Yukon Denali a decent family SUV? When it was brand new, yes. Now, it's 13 years old. GM products have a tendency of falling apart when they get that old. When they start to get mileage on them, they get expensive to repair. You know, they're gigantic vehicles, they're gigantic gas hogs. I mean, you know, they get horrendous gas mileage if you don't mind that. If you're talking about buying one now, I would not buy an old one. I have had customers buy brand new ones and drive them maybe 80,000 miles and be relatively trouble-free, and they were happy with them. But I don't have a single customer that ever bought one of those things when it was 10, 12 years old and then was happy with it. They spent too much money fixing the things. mechanics. Mustafa 2003M says, Scotty, huge fan. Thanks for the information and help. My uncle has a 2016 Kia Sorento, 80,000 kilometers, and it's leaking oil. The mechanics don't know where the leak is coming from. Help. Well, so much for those mechanics. They have to be the worst mechanics on the planet because there's ultraviolet leak dyes. I've got a bunch of videos on there. Any kind of oil that's leaking, there's a UV dye you can pour in it. Once it's poured in, all you gotta do is drive it around, 10 minutes, whatever. Take it on the highway for sure, because there's more pressure when you're going faster. You bring it back, you get this ultraviolet light, these funky yellow sunglasses, and you will see the green dye coming out wherever the leak is coming from. And if those idiots can't do that, they're not real mechanics. Go somewhere else. Now you say it's leaking oil. So it is leaking oil. It's going to be leaking somewhere you're going to see it. Now, they put the tests. They can't see the dye coming out anywhere, but they can't see oil leaking anywhere either. If you're losing oil, it may not be leaking oil. It'll be burning oil. And that's just the engine burning oil. And Kia's notorious for burn oil's age. But it's gotta be a leak somewhere. If you see oil leaking and dripping on the ground, the dye will find it. So either do it yourself, you can get a kit at AutoZone for about $40, or pay a mechanic who really knows what he's doing. You cannot escape the UV leak dye. If it's leaking and dripping, the dye comes out with the oil and you'll see it. William Bradley Pitt says, Scotty, I just replaced the water pump, timing belt, my 01 Honda Odyssey, got everything put back, and it won't run right. Those Honda Odysseys with V6 engines in them, they're well-built engines, but they're also very complex engines. Big pulleys on the top for the cams, and then the belt that goes all over. You cannot do that job correctly without the tool that locks those cam pulleys in place, because that's such a tight setup. If you just have it sitting there, you put the belt on. As soon as you release the automatic tensioner and it tightens the belt, it's going to make one of those cams move. That's just how those things are. If you don't have the cam locking tool, you take it apart, and I'll take the cover off and put the crankshaft on top of that center, you'll see that one of those cams invariably is not pointed at the lineup mark. Now it's moved. Don't ever attempt to replace one of those timing belts on a V6 Honda engine without the tool. It's going to move. I did it in the past, and it bit me in the rear end. I had to do the jobs over, and then I just ordered the tool. So now the next time I do one, I got the tool in my garage, assuming I could find it in my messy garage, and put it on so they don't move, because you can't have them move. They will move when you let that tensioner go. Johnny Rama 53 says, I've been trying a long time to get Scotty to answer my question. Well, you're in luck. I'm answering it right now. I have a 2006 Ford 500 front wheel drive. I cut my wheels sharp. I hear a noise that sounds like it's coming to the front end. What should I check for? Okay. You want to jack it up in the air, pull on the wheels. I got a whole video how to check out your car's front end. Check that video out. It shows you all the tests that you can do. Now, the easiest thing to do is crawl under there. On the outside of the axle, which is just on the very inside of each front wheel, there's a CV joint with a rubber boot. The rubber boot is ripped. You said you got 140,000 miles. The rubber boot's ripped. You need a new CV joint. Now, we just replaced the whole axles with brand new aftermarket ones. They're not all that expensive. We used to fix them, but it costs too much money to fix them now. It's actually cheaper just buying the entire aftermarket axle. They work fine, and installing it in the vehicle. Rubber is broken, means the grease has come out and the joint's worn, replace it. That's real easy to see. Now, if it's not that, yeah, jack it up, pull on the wheel, try to see what parts are worn. That thing's got so many miles on it. It's 14 years old. Could be the ball joint in the bottom's worn. Tie rods are worn. Could be the giant lower control arm bushings are worn. Lots of things can be worn. You jack it up and check it for that. Ofer asks, Scotty, what's your opinion on a 2015 Chevy Impala for $26K or a Skoda Superb? Thanks. All right. Now, if you're in Europe, definitely get the Skoda. I got friends over there. They buy Skodas. They like them. You can get parts. People know how to fix them. And especially, they're bad enough in the United States. You certainly wouldn't want to buy one in Europe. The GM quality is... Now, let's say you live in the United States. You can't really buy a Skoda in the United States. You'd have to import it. You'd never be able to get parts. Nobody'd know how to work on the thing. But I wouldn't get a Chevy Impala. I'd say, go get an older Camry or Honda Accord, some nice car. And if you could afford it, and you're talking about $26,000, hey, I mean, you can get a good used Lexus for that, too. Space Cowboy says, Scotty, I bought an 89 Toyota Celica GT 5-speed. Paint's decent, but the clear coat is faded in the hood and the top of the trunk. Would you recommend an entire paint job or just a clear coat? Realize that it's the clear coat that makes it shine. You take it to a paint shop, get it re-clear coated, You know, that's the easier thing to do. If you want a full paint job on a car and have it done correctly, I mean, that's going to cost you anywhere from $3,000 to $6,000. It's very expensive to do it correctly. But clear coating, you already have the color there, and if they polish it and say, no, the color's safe, re-clear coat it, and that makes the most sense. Like in England, they're always doing clear coats over. Here in the United States, they're always trying to sell you a whole paint job and stuff, or sell you a whole car. There, they do a lot more clear coating than they do over here. But if the guys say, you got to let a body guy look at it first. If they polish an area and say, no, the paint's good, we can just re-clear coat it, have it re-clear coat. It's a lot cheaper. They don't have to buy the paint. They just clear coat. It's all the same color. Go ahead and do it. I've seen people do that, and it came out great. But they have to test it first. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.